The real question is, what trends do we need to watch? Which ones are so far into the future, but we still need to watch, to make business sense? What's the best way to frame an IT strategy for the next year or two? And to shed more light on this, we have Tamal Chakravorty. He's Director for IT and Test with Ericsson Global Services. So Tamal is also a NEXT100 Awards jury member, and he has more than 23 years of experience in technical and managerial roles in various industries, including FMCG, oil and gas, trading, and automotive. And as a seasoned leader, Tamal understands that global businesses need to grow beyond the restrictions of time and space and require an atmosphere charged with knowledge sharing and collaboration, a principle that he assiduously practices. And Tamal holds an MBA from XLRI and EMA in addition to a number of industry certifications. And he's going to be talking today about developing an IT strategy for 2019-20. So please welcome on stage Mr. Tamal Chakravorty.
Oh, this is so formal now. Good afternoon.
You can walk around.
Yeah, I would. So first thing that I would do is, he's already introduced me, so I don't have to do that work now. But I would like to tell you that I'm not going to talk about PowerPoints. I'm sure you've all gone through PowerPoints the whole morning or probably have done this for quite a few years now. So I'll talk about strategy. And I have 30 minutes, right, Giri? Giri, I have 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Okay, good. So I'll try and spend 30 minutes. I do not know everything about strategy. I would learn from you because the knowledge that faces me is more than what faces you right now. Let's discuss, let's be interactive, let's talk about your industries, your challenges, and then let's see how IT strategy is devised. Probably it's a good learning for me as well. So I come from telecom. I've spent 15 years in telecom now. So essentially telecom is a technology company. And you can understand the status of a technologist in a technology company. So I am the tiny mini guy sitting in the corner trying to say what I want to say, but very few people to listen because they all know more than what I would probably say. So it becomes very, very difficult for me to explain to management, to the regional leadership team, my strategy. A telecom strategy is generally a 5-year, 10-year, or a 15-year strategy. The phones that you use today, 3G, 2G, 5G, whatever you hear today, these are what? Developed over 5-6 years. Your IT strategy won't even last 1 year. So if you go up on stage and say, my strategy is this and so many jazzy stuff, by the way, by 2018, I would change all of this. Their jaws will fall. So you essentially have to talk about 2025. So it becomes very, very difficult. I don't know how many of you are in banking right now? Any banking guys? Okay, one guy. It's a challenge for you as well, right? Because banks are looking 10 years ahead. It may not be so much of a challenge for manufacturing guys because assuming you are a car manufacturer, you're manufacturing a car today, you're manufacturing a car tomorrow, you could still talk about supply chain, just in time, all those jazzy stuff, and you'll still fit in. So industry to industry, it becomes extremely difficult to hold your IT strategy to hold your IT strategy. It could be 1 year, could be 5 years, could be 10 years. So that becomes very, very difficult. So therefore, what I did was, today I took some paper notes, just few of these points, and I'll probably talk about those. And I have another sheet of paper, I'll take some notes from you guys as well. And then by the end of this session, let's see if we have actually created a strategy for ourselves. A strategy to write a strategy. And I'm assuming this session is all about understanding, it's my assumption, and correct me if I'm wrong, is an understanding how to write an IT strategy, because I'm sure you already have your own strategies in your various functions. So probably you're today in banking, could move to telecom, could move to healthcare, could move to anywhere, but how do you write that IT strategy? What is IT strategy in the end? So the first question that I think ideally should come to each of our minds is, what do we mean by strategy in the end? What do you think is a strategy? Just generally, tell me, what do you think is a strategy?
I think it could be the policies driving our business, and Second thing would be what technology, and then the projection.
Okay, so policies, technology, projections, money. Is there anything else that drives strategy?
Customers.
Vision. Anything else? Pardon me?
Business objectives.
Business objectives. So essentially what you've told me is you have business objectives and then all these other nice jazzy stuff which will actually flow into a strategy. But the real meaning of strategy, and if you were to stand up in front of, let's assume Anil Ambani, let's assume for now. Do you think these 5-6 things, if you tell them in say 10 slides, will fly? Yeah, we could give plan of action. So that's the 7th part. But do you think you're standing in front of Anil Ambani, who has a pot of money, and you're trying to sell him a plan, your strategy, right? Do you think all these 5-6 things will fly? No, not just because I'm posing question. It could fly, it may not fly, but I would probably say it will be difficult to make it fly. The reason is a strategy is supposed to be a very, very future-looking function. If you're an IT strategist, that's the reason you have an IT strategy as a role. You have people who say, I have an IT strategist. It's a very, very future-looking function. Unfortunately, we IT guys, and I blame myself as well, we make it sound so silly. We go out and tell the world, our technologies change tomorrow, our technologies change in 6 months, so we cannot even write a strategy because we are lethargic to write a strategy. Let me be very, very honest and clear here. Strategy is not about 6 months or 1 year. Just because we are lethargic to writing a strategy for 5 years, we say it changes, technology changes. So what? Manufacturing technologies change. Do they not come out with a car in 5 years? But they have a strategy for 5 years, right? So I worked in an automotive company where they have all these new cars. They give them codes like R0, R1, R3, R4. These are supposed to be very secret codes. And they work on the strategy. And that strategy is not just the car, the market, the audience, price, everything. And that they work for 5 years. The time frame is 5 years. But just because it comes to IT and we are very lethargic, slow-looking guys, inward-looking, we are very happy inside, we say strategy is only 6 months, which is not the fact. So that's the truth number 1 that I wanted to put up. So then how do you, if that's the case, do you think it is easy for us, now let me be defensive as well, do you think it is easy for us to write a strategy for 5 years where we don't even know where we are heading? You can be open. I mean, we can have a debate. That's okay. I mean, 30 minutes we can. It's just a debate, right? So we are just discussing things. So if you think we are constrained by things that we don't even know which is going to come in 5 years' time, do you think it is possible for us to write a strategy? Yes, no.
So it depends on the organization objective
Okay.
for which you are working for, and definitely IT objective should be, or the strategy should be driven from the organization.
So which organization do you work for?
I work for Genpact.
It's a services organization, right? So do you know where your IT will head in 5 years' time in a services organization? In terms of what are your IT needs 5 years here? Do you know that?
So the answer, it cannot be yes or no. You can preempt portion of it. Definitely you cannot. But yes,
Correct.
You can,
So basically it's difficult, but you still can preempt something, right? Based on what you are discussing with your top management, their vision, their goals. And that's the reason we talk about vision statement, write a vision statement. The vision statement is useless if you do not know the vision of the company 5 years hence or 10 years hence. You look at that vision, then you write your own vision statement, right? And so let's say what is a successful IT strategy? What do you think is a successful IT strategy? I'll come to the main topic, which is strategy for 2019 to 21. So probably last 10 minutes we'll have a discussion and then we'll frame that. But
In any of the organization, you have got a visibility of what your business vision is or a roadmap is for next some time.
perfect,
And based on that business vision or roadmap, you formulate your strategy. Which
perfect.
is flexible enough to be accommodative, while you move along.
Good, very good. So what you are telling me in short is, and I'll paraphrase in my way, is if your boss, his boss, the CEO, MD, people around, or the leadership team is happy with what you're saying, that's a successful strategy, right? Because the business vision says we'll do this, 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 and therefore somehow you have been able to map the whole vision into your stuff, right? If they were talking about making electric car for 2025, and the cost should not be more than 50,000, and you probably contribute 25,000 there, and you reduce it by 10,000, they'll be happy. So that's a successful IT strategy. The problem with us is, since we are a little inward looking, and I'm trying to be critic here, and you can counter me, it's okay. I might be completely wrong. The problem with us is that we are so inward looking that when we come up with a strategy, we put in a lot of effort to make it successful. To make it successful, we will probably reduce cost, we probably deliver 5 projects on time, we probably beat up a few vendors and suppliers and get things done, and then go back with a balance sheet saying, I've done what we had set out to do. Essentially, that is where it all starts falling apart. What we have delivered to the business end of the year is just a plan, an operating plan. It's not a strategy that we have delivered. Right? We decided that we will do these 5 things, and just in the process of doing those 5 things, we have delivered an operating plan. The business is happy with that plan, but they probably do not know what the strategy was. They probably are not happy with the strategy because you have only delivered a plan. So that's where I am coming from. And that's probably the reason why Giri says this topic should be IT strategy 2019 to 21, which is 3 years hence. And therefore, it becomes difficult for us to write because we don't really understand how we write this strategy because the technologies are not available to us. We don't know what the world is going to be. So that's point number 1 that I wanted to discuss. Do you agree what we are saying, or do you disagree? If it's a violent disagreement, tell me. Tell me. Go ahead, please.
Even if the technology changes, does technology itself make a break chance of strategy? Should it or should it not? Because technology.
Very good question. What do you think is the answer? To be honest, I'm in the same boat as you are. So tell me what should be the answer. I've been thinking about this for a long time, many years.
I would say it should not. You can do acquisitions down the line if you feel like some technology is required or it comes up. It's more like where you need to do it.
Yeah, you could get suppliers and so on and so forth. So basically what is, again, as I'm saying, is important is if the business wants to reach a certain level or layer or place or wants to deliver certain things to its customer, we have a role to play and we need to ensure that we have a level playing field as well. We should not go overboard, do something which is not even in sync with the business. For example, I'll give you an example of my company, Ericsson, right now. Right now, I'll give you an example. This company is a telecom company, very big telecom company, right? It was the world's number 1 telecom company, service provider, till 2014. Today is world's number 3, right? The CEO has been sacked, the CFO has been sacked, a lot of people have gone, and the basic reason that the world on the Walmart street or the analysts say, and of course the shareholders, our shareholders say, is the strategy has gone fat all of a sudden. Whereas this company was doing so well till 2014. In 3 years, the whole strategy has gone fat. Essentially, this company wanted to venture into IT space. They said IBM is making money, Wipro is making money, so many people are making money. Telecom, our margins are squeezing, we don't get so much money, they are getting 22% margin, so why don't we just step here and take their ship? We are one big player. We have 70 operators. We have inroads everywhere. We'll go and sell IT and become bigger than the rest. And then we became world's number 5th in 1 year's time. Of the top players, we became the 5th player. So maybe IBM, HP, and so on and so forth. And then Ericsson somewhere else. So that gave us a boost, right? And we went and acquired companies based on that. We acquired about 3 or 4 companies, huge companies. Our whole strategy, and which is where I also take part of the blame, is we didn't look at the acquisition strategy. If you acquire a company, how do you integrate it? We are very poor integrators. So Ericsson started integrating, all these companies started falling apart. 5 companies became standalone companies. Slowly their products died because they didn't have the money, they didn't have the wherewithal, firepower to go out and sell, and all these companies were dead. By the end of the 5th company going down, we had already burnt out 4 billion cash, and now we are number 3. So what you're saying is right, but to do that, the steps that we may have, Ericsson has taken may not be the right steps. We were probably better off as a telecom company than an IT player, right? So there's always a chance that your strategies for future will fail miserably, but we have to cushion ourselves for that failure. And the rate of failure should not be more than 30%. If it is somewhere close to 60 or 70%, you are out of your job soon. So that rate of failure will happen. So probably you will have to cushion all your strategies. Now the problem with an IT strategy for 2019 and 2021 is we have seen a rapid change in the last 2 years. Huge change in the last 2 years. And as IT guys, I am sure 100% that most of us do not know what is the core that we have. What is that core? What is the core of IT? Is it the server? Is it the data center? Is it that application? Is it people? We really do not understand the core, because you have to hold on to that core. When things are changing all around you, you have to hold on to that core, because that core is important for you. That's your survival. Last 2 years, everything changed. Now we have no core. So let me ask a general question, and you can tell me. What do you think is the core of your job as an IT head, as an IT manager, within the IT field, within the IT scope? What is the core?
It depends on, again, which industry, which vertical you are.
Sure. But as an IT function, what do you think is the core?
As a user-based company, IT function, I believe it's the knowledge of the business and how the business is getting enabled by the IT system.
That's a competence, right?
Yeah.
That's competence. But I'm talking about, if you have this IT function in this box, you have all the IT functions, data center, application, data, all that, everything, licenses and all that, all put into that box. What is that core in that box that you can hold on to?
So first is our internal people, how we can enable our own.
Those are resources.
Yeah.
You don't put resources in that box, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So IT as a tool, how we can enable those friends or.
So you're saying
colleagues
tool is.
to have an easier life.
So IT tool is the core.
Yeah.
Okay, and you say data is the core. And you. Pardon me? User experience is user experience. So good or bad. You could say that. So let me argue this now. The core of your whole box, and you can debate and you can discuss and you can throw this out of the window if you want to. And over last 5 years, I've realized with all these changes happening around me, I realized it is pretty simple to throw me out of the job tomorrow. Very simple to throw me out of the job, because you have acquired 5 companies come with 5 IT managers, they can take away your job. They're all IT companies, they can do the job better than you do. You have outsourced to suppliers, they know more than you, right? If you outsource to suppliers, it's natural, they know more than you. The only core that I realized is like an onion peel in IT. The core that you can hold on to, in my view, is your identity and access management. This nobody takes away from you. Without these two, identity and your access management, everything else can be outsourced, thrown out, put in the cloud, taken anywhere. Anybody can do all of this, but these two you cannot do. That remains your core all the time. So if you hold on to that part, that core, and you devise your strategy all around, you still have your strategy will still fly. For example, I'll just give an example. If you want to SaaSify your company, You want to say all my applications will be outside. SAP on cloud and that one on cloud and SuccessFactors and Concur and whatever else. Everything else is on cloud. I've done a great digital company, right? Why would they need you? Everything's gone out, right? Why would they need you? They don't need an IT strategy because that strategy is, the Concur strategy is being run by Concur, SAP is run by SAP, somebody else is running whatever. So they don't need you essentially. They need you only for that IAM, the identity and access management. Because those set of 25,000 people will have to still access, and how they access, what are the access rights, when they move, what happens, so on and so forth. So that becomes a core. If you can build your strategy around that core, you will find a day, for example, if you write a strategy which says, let me become the broker. I'm just throwing an idea. Let me become the broker. I will not run IT for you. IT will be run by everybody else. I'll just be the broker. You want this service, I'll get it done. How I get it done is my problem. I'll connect this guy to that guy. There will be a cost mechanism. You'll go and click, 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 and you'll get a price point, you'll get a bill, everything will get done, but I'll be the broker in between. So I'll broker a cloud for you, I'll broker a location for you, I'll broker identity access management for you, I'll broker the application for you. But I'll not do anything. Essentially, I'm not doing anything. I'm just a broker. So in my view, in 2019 or 2021, most of us, if not all, most of us, at least 80% of us will become brokers. Our jobs will be brokering job. So I was reading somewhere in 2025, the future of workplace will look completely different. The people, only the guys who are creative, who have some artwork, who are delivering something, who are creating something, only those guys will survive, rest of us will all go. Probably that job will go to robotics, that job will go to artificial intelligence machines and whatever else. So if that's the case, then your IT strategy should probably hover around brokering, because everything else will be done by somebody. Could be a robotics, could be an application, could be automation, whatever else. So you need to tie all of that together. So basically saying, and broker is not the right word, you may not like it, but basically saying you are the man in the middle, just trying to connect two pipes together, right? Do you agree or disagree? You have another view, or you think something else should be the real role of IT? I don't know how much time is. I have 9 minutes left, so good. So that's point number 2 that I was trying to talk about. So let's talk about who works in a manufacturing company here. Good, very good. So we have a lot of manufacturing guys here. What do you think, sir, is the outlook of your manufacturing company in 2025, 2022 or whatever? How do you think that manufacturing setup will change? Just out of your mind, I mean, you can say whatever. Anyway, I don't know much, so you can say it.
Quite a lot of automation we believe.
That's another buzzword, but basically saying automation, right?
Automation, IoT, IoE.
So saying people will be replaced by machines.
Not necessarily, but a lot of mechanized job will be automated.
So all daily jobs will go away. And most
Connected devices, connected assembly line, connected machinery.
okay, so good.
We are into mobile, and one person was doing few activities by looking at
Yeah.
mobile devices,
Got it.
tracks and all that. It has been replaced by one machine.
So essentially, machines, as you say, is going to replace most of the daily routine work, and which is the case for manufacturing setup. And I'm telling you that's going to be the case for IT as well. So you will not have those runners running to fix a PC. The PCs will be auto healers. You will not have people asking you, yaar, mera ye phas gaya hai, I wanted to resign but can't. This tool is not allowing me to resign. Right? There are cases also like this. So what do? You will not have people coming and telling you how to resign. Right? Those will be knowledge bases. The knowledge base is not something that you do in Google today. You go search, find, and then do something. It will be automatic. It will be intuitive. You have a problem, it will probably pop up and tell you. So if that's the case, your runners are all gone. The lowest level is gone. And then you had managers to manage those runners, right? They're also saying by 2025, a lot of people will be individual contributors, which means that they will not have management kind of a role. You know, I'm a big man sitting in my office, I'll have 20 people coming to me. So if that's the case, you'll have a lot of individual contributors. You can't ask individual contributors to manage things. They'll just do their own small little work and go. And if as I said, the future of work is going to be for only creative people, people who are designing, people who are writing something, people who are actually producing something, those individual contributors will be regularly producing something for you, right? So what would you do as an IT manager? The only job that you'll have is to write a future strategy for 5 years as a broker, connecting pipes together, people together, just so that your business objectives are met. Right? So basically, again, going back to a point, I think you had raised a point. You have to understand the business, so your job becomes like a businessman, understand the business, talk to your managers and so on and so forth, and understand what is going on. And the success of all this in 2025 will rest on that leadership team, which will say, I like your ideas. Basically, they are not your ideas, these are their ideas, right? You are the broker in between. You're not doing anything else other than brokering. So that's my point number 3 that I wanted to talk about. So in 19 and 21, you will probably have, and let's talk about technology here now. You have spoken of IoT, IoE. We have spoken about machines talking to each other and so on and so forth. And then there are people talking about artificial intelligence, etc. And these were all there for many years. Even in 1990s, you used to hear about artificial. I did a seminar for artificial and heuristics and so on, all those nice jazzy words. But they never took off because there's always a timing for all of this. I don't know if the time is right. People are again starting to talk about artificial intelligence. Maybe it is right now. So if that's going to happen, how should your IT strategy then be written? Right? So then you'll have to go back to your manufacturing setup, your banking setup, and talk about how they want to reduce number of people, if that's the case, how they want to automate because they want to get back to the customer faster. So basically they will only talk about speed, connecting to customers, and all of this plays a big role in your strategy. If they're talking about speed, you'll have to ensure that they have the speed. Again, as I said, as a broker, you sit in the middle, you have to ensure that they get the speed that they require. So it's not just the bandwidth or the operators, but speed everywhere. Once you have 5G and all those happening, it's going to be large-scale partnership of many people. 5G is not a technology, it's basically about a partnership. And if people are doing things on their mobile, why would they want to go to a PC? So probably a PC is outdated. You won't have a PC at all. So you need to find out what are those new classic devices that are available everywhere that the user can use. They can probably go to a cyber cafe and work. By 2025, real estate is going to have a real crunch because you probably not have offices. You won't have offices, people coming in and sitting in offices and punching because that's not required anymore. The job doesn't say it. The job is only for the creative guys, right? Creative guys don't go to an office and work. So then you have to ensure if people are not going to turn up in offices, probably in the manufacturing setup, they will still have to go and work. But they would probably work for anywhere using anything, maybe a television, maybe a radio, maybe something that they are touching and feeling today. So therefore, your strategy should revolve around how do I ensure that piece of radio, useless piece of radio which is only talking the whole day, connects back to my systems. Also, the data is going to be generated not by your PCs or by the processes or by the boxes sitting in the manufacturing setup. It could be generated by the robots, or it could be generated by collaborative robots. They have new names now. It could be generated by machines. It could be just plain generated in the air. All those data will get captured. So you can understand, it will be humongous, plethora of data. I mean, you won't even know what you are trying to do with this. So your whole strategy should revolve around how do you use this data to give intelligence to the people. So again, you are right in the middle. You are the broker. Data has got generated. All you are doing is ensuring that you have brokered a tool from somebody which picks all this data, looks at it, and gives intelligence to the business. The moment it has done that, the business will say, you are my trusted guy. If they say you are the trusted guy, your IT strategy has started. You don't have to do much. So essentially, I'm saying you don't have to write pages and pages and pages. I used to write pages on IT strategy. Nobody read. I used to feel proud. I've got these 10 pages IT strategy. Nobody read. Nobody bothered. Then I started giving PowerPoints, long 50-page PowerPoints, 3 hours. People slept through the whole thing. Then I told my boss, this is not flying. What should I do? And he told me, you don't have to do all this. Talk to all these people, come up with 2-3 lines, and tell us. That's it. Last 5 years, that's all that I do. I have only 5-minute meeting. I go and tell them what they have already told me. Right? So I become a consultant now, McKinsey consultant. Hear everything and go back and tell them the same thing. So essentially, that's where I realized that I am doing a role of a broker, and that will continue for the next 5 years. Okay? I think I am at the end of my topic. I don't have anything more to talk about, unless you have questions or you have ideas, or you are also supposed to tell me if this falls in line with your thoughts.
To sum it up, what I understand is, in this session, you centrally talked about identity and access management one.
Core.
That would be the core. And second would be how data can be mined to fetch the business value to the existing business setup.
Yeah, correct.
Apart from that,
You forgot the broker.
So when I said broker, if you go to Gartner, they'll tell you a new name for this. I'm right on time. Fantastic. New name for this. Look out for a name called Target Delivery Model. It's a beautiful, jazzy name. They came to my office and told me all this. And then finally I said, but this is all brokerage. Right? Basically saying you will be out of job in 2021 or 2022, but find something where you are able to connect these 10,000 people together. And that is going to be the real thing in 2025 or 2021 or 2022, because it is all going to be about connected. It's not connected devices, as they say. It's only about connection between various organizations or processes or people or whatever you call it. Yeah? That was it, Giri, from my side. Thank you. Sure, go ahead, please, sir.
We have been discussing during this analysis phase that obsolescence is always there. Because if I give you a case study of myself, I started my career working on IBM, working on working on the products and after 4 years, it was totally obsolete. And being a very good data processing person, but thought that who is going to take it? What happened? Before you have to change your shape. So changing the role is always a part of IT. Until unless you change your role and fit into the current environment, you are not going to get value or get information. So my only suggestion is, instead of saying that we are only broker or anything, after 5 years or after 20 years, we might find some other job. I may not be called an IT person, but I may be some substitute to intelligence. So that is my
But I'm talking about IT right now, so that's the reason.
I just add, as Mr. Singh said
Sure.
very correctly, because probably the paradigm shift always comes in the business, especially for the IT, because of the technology change and all. And secondly, if business is growing, obviously the IT will support it. If business is going down, then nothing IT. So this could be the paradigm shift, you can say that is my opinion.
Yeah, and that whole shift will take a little time. So I'm since I talked about 2025, basically I'm between 2019 and 21, not much will change. Till 2019, not much will change. But if you see the world around you, they are already changing. And if they change at a rapid rate, then that shift has to happen quickly.
You said very correctly now to that brokerage it is also required.
Can't we see that there is more of man management rather than
Today we are a lot of man manager. इसीलिए तो बोल रहा हूँ, we'll become.
The man management, change management is there. Man would be there, maybe lesser. Processor would be there. People would be required to
Sir,
manage.
how do you sell this? Like, if I have this at a core, you can't.
I've sold this already in my company. Beautifully, it doesn't take time. You just have to tell people, end of the day, and I might be completely wrong. And God willing, I still have my job. Maybe I might be wrong. If this whole strategy goes for, then I'll probably not see you
I
again.
guess we'll be working as a freelancers and that for more.
No, when I said broker, it is not about freelancing, but I'm saying when I said broker, you will still need a guy. Each functions will need a guy, right? If a supply chain guy has to be there, or HR guy has to be there. I'm saying the role of that guy.
Yeah.
Today you do a lot of man management, you talk to guys, you deliver things, you're feeling proud about projects. Yeah, we have done this so much, yeah. We've saved the company $20,000 and here and there. Tomorrow you'll not do all that because that project will be done by Concur, by SAP, by somebody else, because they also have to do something, right? They'll do all that, you'll just connect those pieces together. Sure, go ahead, please.
Let me compliment you. Your session was really skilled.
Sorry.
Most of us probably, you made us think that what will we do after 3 years, rather than we should. And may I have the liberty to decide?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, may I have the liberty to decide?
Absolutely.
Because I was expecting that maybe I'll plan something for my organization. But what I could understand at time that most of us are thinking about individual side. But what would I do after 3 years? Will I lose my job, or will I work for the same company, or will I work like it? So maybe I'm wrong.
No, that's your, that's a view, right? So it's fine.
But that's a compliment.
No, it's fine. What I'm trying to say here is, the session was IT strategy. I was trying to tell you in short that the IT strategy should be built around a thought that you are a broker, and that's my thought, right? You are a broker, and how do you ensure the business is run? Because most of the, and this is not my thought, this is written in everywhere. People will become individual contributors. Only the creative guys will stay. So the first thing that hit me was, I'm not a creative guy, so should I not stay? So if I then have to become an individual contributor, I'm not a creative guy, what should I do? The only thing I do, I've done so many years, is brokerage, right? So you write a strategy, right? If you write a strategy, what should that strategy do? If I don't have people, they're all individual contributors, they're all creative guys. They're not going to listen to me, they'll write their own stuff. So what should I do then? The only thing I can do is connect all these pipes and joints together. And probably I'm good at that. If I'm good at that, that becomes a strategy. The business is accepted because that's what the business is going to do tomorrow. Right? Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.